How have we not done the Munsters yet?
I don't know. We did Hocus Pocus, and then you were like, let's talk about shit we haven't watched yet.
Yeah. Let's give our opinions on stuff coming out because we've already watched things. All right. Well, the Munsters. I swear we already talked about this.
Nope.
All right. Well, let's.
Let me grab a drink real quick.
All right. I'm going to pee.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be a good idea. I should pee too. How long have we been doing this?
I have no idea because I've been ending each segment to make it easier to edit through later so I don't have to look for the gap in our talking. But we've been going at it for about 2 hours.
Okay.
All right, I'll be right back.
Let me grab a drink and pee and yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Previously on Loonsville, the clown has no penis.
What? It doesn't have a penis? You started and I was making the most manly drink known to man.
I'm keeping that sound in.
I mean, you could keep this whole thing in. I mean, it's cold open. Let's start recording when you make drinks.
Started recording when I made Tinkle.
And Pepsi is now making black cherry soda, which is really good with the scotch I got.
I can't believe you're putting fucking soda in scotch. That is a violation.
It's bottom shelf scotch, so don't judge me.
Oh, I'm judging you for just drinking, so I might as well judge you for what you're drinking.
Ooh, you judgy.
Oh, yeah.
After Hellraiser, I needed one.
From one person that bottomed out their life because of drinking to everybody else in the world, I just suggest not drinking. All right, so the Munsters. Oh, we're a little late on this, mostly because, you know, Sid over here couldn't make up his mind on when we were going to do it. Cough. But
yeah, me.
It definitely had nothing to do with me thinking that we had done it and just skipping over it to do a bunch of other stuff.
Stuff we haven't seen yet.
But honestly, in my opinion, you know, the Munsters can wait.
Yeah. Well, we're on a track. We're talking about movies that have been shit canned over the internet for obviously like dumb reasons. And so the Munsters, new Rob Zombie movie.
Yeah. And not following the usual train of Rob Zombie style. Well, I shouldn't say that. It definitely follows his style. I guess not following the usual source material of a Rob Zombie movie.
Source material.
Yeah, you know, he's usually into the horror,
Well, I guess this one does have source material.
You know, like, I guess it wouldn't be source material as much as just the genre, I guess.
Yeah, I guess he's kind of going against type. I mean, he loves the Munsters. He says all the time, so he loves the Munsters and the Marx Brothers and all that stuff. All of them have made references in his more serious films. You could tell he's a fan.
Oh yeah, he references the Marx Brothers in everything, almost.
Everything. Yeah.
All three of the House movies. I think there's even, I can't remember 100%, but there might be a clip playing on a TV in his Halloween movie.
He has the Munsters car in, Dragula?
Yep.
In the music video?
He certainly does.
Friends with Butch Patrick, who played Eddie.
Yeah, he's actually, didn't he have, I don't know if he made it in. I thought he had Butch play a character in one of his movies, but I don't know if he was going to, did not, or if he did and it just didn't make it into the movie.
Well, he's in the Munsters.
Yes, he is in the Munsters again.
So I have talked to people that were like, this movie sucked. And when I ask them why, I was like, I give my reasoning why they're wrong. And more times than not, they go, oh, well, yeah, but, well, yeah. Well, yeah, but I wasn't expecting it to be like that.
I wasn't expecting you to argue with me, okay? I don't know how to defend my thoughts. I read it on the internet.
Well, no, I'm sure they have a legit reason for disliking it. Because if you go into it thinking it's going to be a Rob Zombie movie, you are going to be like a regular Rob Zombie movie.
I mean, it
You're
is
gonna
a Rob
be,
Zombie movie, and I mean that in the sense of direction, editing,
yeah.
stuff like that. It's done exactly how Rob Zombie does his movies. If you're going into it thinking it's going to be dark and brutal or something like that, then yeah, you're wrong. It's the Munsters. He wanted to stay true to the Munsters, which I commend him for almost doing. And
he does pretty well.
Yeah, towards the second half of the movie, I think it's done very well. Parts of the beginning are done well, but most of the beginning I had a huge problem with. I was ready to turn the movie off like 20 minutes into it. I didn't like the writing choices, the way they were talking, the way they were acting, stuff like that. There were things, but the movie itself I thought was good. It fits the Munsters completely. It's believable. It just
Well, like that's what they were thinking. They thought Herman Munster was going to be saying cocksucker every word, and they thought, I guess, Lily was going to be naked half the movie. I don't know what they were really expecting.
He would never put Sherry in a movie naked.
No?
Nope.
Fine. We have zoomed in on Lily's ass.
He would, they do that. He would put her in the movie topless, but her hair would be covering her breasts.
She was naked in Lord of the Salem.
Pretty sure you don't see anything.
Still, she's still naked.
Well, I mean, she's naked under those clothes. What a whore.
No. I wasn't even saying that. No, she's no clothes. And that's probably what they're expecting. Expecting naked Lily. Herman that says cocksucker and fuck you all the time. They're probably expecting a crying baby through most of it.
Rest in peace, Sid Haig. I'm sure if they would have had Sid playing Herman, there might have been a cocksucker thrown in there.
Not Herman.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he should be Grandpa. He's not Grandpa in the movie. He's just the Count.
Yeah. He's not Grandpa yet.
Not yet.
There are no kids. This is, in fact, a prequel. So Herman is created, and Lily
romantic comedy
doesn't know him yet. Well, in the beginning, I didn't. We've talked about this, but I didn't care for the way that Herman was created.
I didn't either. I think we agreed. I think we made fun of it while I was watching it.
Yeah, the whole brain swap.
They did the wrong brain thing, which is pretty cliche.
Yeah, and I just think it was dumb.
This is the one Rob Zombie movie where Richard Brake isn't the best part of it.
Yeah, I mean, 31, and
he's the only good part of it.
Yeah. 31's not a terrible movie, but I think it's not a terrible movie because of Richard Brake's performance.
He's the only good thing in that. Actually, the opening monologue's the only good thing in that movie.
It's just, I don't know. 31 wasn't awful, but
it wasn't good, other than the opening monologue. I think he wrote that monologue and was like, fuck, how do I follow up on that?
He was just like, fuck it, throw some shit together.
He Citizen Kaned himself in one movie.
Yeah. You should have called up, fuck, can't think of his name. The Bone Tomahawk.
Oh
my God.
Zoller? Craig S. Zoller?
Yeah. You should have called him up. Just because, like, Bone Tomahawk was such a phenomenal movie. It was so well done. And after that came out, I was like, well, this guy's fucking career is dead.
And then Cell Block. You
can't follow some shit like that up with anything. And then everything he's done has been pretty great.
Cell Block was good. And Dragged Across Concrete was good, but I'll say the other two I liked better.
Yeah, Cell Block 99 was equally phenomenal. I think, oh my God, my brain is going to shit right now. Help me out here. Actor's name, Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn's performance in Cell Block 99 was crazy.
Yeah, and Drive Across Concrete, he was good in that too. It's also a good movie. It's just not as good as the other two.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's got to team up with Danzig, and they can make like the best movie of ever.
The best movie of the last 3 seconds.
No, it'd be like the best movie ever. Could you imagine a Rob Zombie movie with eyeball nipples?
I mean, Rob Zombie could just steal that and put it in a movie and it'd be great.
No, you got to have Danzig help with the script because there's got to be roles for all of his porn stars.
Yeah, and then we can hire... No, I'm not even going to say it. Fuck that.
No, say
Oh.
I
No.
want to know.
No,
we
because
want to know.
it's gonna...
Me and the audience
It's gonna... It's all right, fine, I'll say it. Then you can hire Dave Mustaine to fucking write part of it. No, I'm only saying that because I like Danzig's music and I like Megadeth's music, but I don't think Danzig has any business making movies, and I don't think Dave Mustaine does either.
You know, I want to see a movie with Rob Zombie and Danzig making together, and then they could do a soundtrack together as well, and then it would be like this weird mashup of shit. And
That's the title of the fucking album. Weird mashup of shit.
Yeah, and the movie would be just a weird mashup of shit too.
Yeah.
It's just like when you watch like Violent Shit, the series, and you're like, well, they at least got the title right.
Yeah.
It'd be the same thing. It'd be, well, that was just a mishmash of shit.
Yep.
I mean, the really bad parts would probably be Danzig's idea, but just to have the...
I want to see them make a movie together, but every choice that Danzig makes is wrong and terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, they are. I've seen his movie, and it's...
Yeah.
God, it was just bad. I actually...
that would probably have made 31 a lot more enjoyable.
I used to talk to...
opening scene and then have Danzig take over for a little bit.
No. Danzig gets to write one scene. It's just...
No, he's got to co-write the whole movie.
They could do another anthology together, and I bet you everybody skips all of Danzig's parts.
No, it's got to be a straightforward movie. No anthology, no one director. It's a team effort, and it's a collaboration.
You know what? Just before we get back into the Munsters, you know what I think would rub people all sorts of the wrong way? If Rob Zombie responded to everybody's just criticism of Halloween 2, which is well-founded, and came back and did Season of the Witch.
Ooh.
And I think it would be great. I think it would be fantastic to see Season of the Witch done now and done by Rob Zombie.
I mean, it'd be interesting. I think Danzig needs more work. I'm gonna pimp Danzig out. He's got to work with all the peoples.
Yeah, Danzig needs some street cred.
We need a little Danzig in every movie.
Just give him a production credit. He doesn't even have to be there. He doesn't even have to do anything. He doesn't even need to know about it. Just put him on the bill.
You know what to make Halloween Kills so much better? If Danzig helped write it.
Oh my god. Does he have a Twitter? I'm going to look really quick and see if Danzig has a Twitter because I'm actually going to tweet that at him. Danzig Twitter. Danzig official. Yo, this motherfucker has a Twitter.
Ooh, and it's an official.
Oh, the last time he tweeted was 2012.
Oh, shit.
Oh my god, Headbanger's Ball. I remember that.
I give Michael Myers eyeball nipples.
You know what's funny? You say that they need to collaborate on something, and I could see Danzig making that choice, like the absolute fucking wrong choice. Not just a bad decision. We're like, you know what? We really liked it when you did the eyeball nipples. He's like, yeah, eyeball nipples. Michael Myers.
Okay.
All right, back to the fucking Munsters, though.
That would make sense. Like, maybe, and he still has the eyeball nipples, but you just can't see him and ends. So when Corey tackles him, you don't see it, but what he really did was poke him in the eyeball nipples, and that's why he dropped so quick.
It's canon now.
Yeah.
Absolutely happened.
So is Michael Myers' art. He learned how to do art while he was in the theory.
Yeah. We should have talked about that while we were doing the Halloween episode. We didn't even bring that up. Michael's just down here in the sewer painting his pictures of rats, and bums under the bridge and stuff, doing real life stuff. And Corey's got to come along and fuck it all up.
Kid. This fucking asshole kid falls off a bridge.
Comes up in there into Michael's house and just starts poking his eyeball nipples.
He's like, they don't like your art. You should come kill with me. And Michael's like, nah, man, I've turned a new leaf.
Yeah.
I do my art and I just chilling, man.
He's got this whole like Bob Ross, Tommy Chong thing going on.
Yeah. He's now a stoner. He's like, yeah, man. And then be played by Tommy Chong.
That would have been fucking epic. He rips his mask off. It's Tommy Chong. Hey, man.
That's not cool. It's not cool, man. Why you do that to me?
Oh my god.
My eyeball nipples, man.
Getting off the fucking topic. We got a Munsters. We waited 3 weeks to do the Munsters.
We did. So I did read a thing before we get into like how we feel about the Munsters. I did read a thing that Universal, he wanted to make it black and white, but Universal wouldn't let him. So that's why the colors are kind of like super vibrant to give it kind of a different feel, which I thought was a good choice. Not a good choice to say no to black and white. I thought we were coming back into black and white, but I guess we're not.
I still think black and white works, and I think it's better for certain things, but I don't know with his movie, like the nightclub scenes and the alleyways with the neons and stuff. I don't know if black and white would have been the play.
Well, I don't think there'd probably be neons. I think that's like a choice after you can't have it black and white.
Well, yeah, I guess because you have to make that choice right away, like what you're going to shoot in. You can't be filming already and then change it.
Yeah.
I mean, because if you're filming in black and white, you're filming in black and white. You can take a color movie and make it black and white after the fact. As a matter of fact, I should do that. I should put the Munsters into Premiere Pro and remove all the color.
Yeah, do that. I want to watch it just to see how it feels. But you remember they did a black and white version of Fury Road?
Yeah.
Like that was like a DVD extra, and I think Logan also had one. And I was like, ooh, this is coming back. These movies are so badass with the black and white. This should be a thing. And I thought it was coming back, and nope.
They did it with Mad Max. They did it with Logan. They did it with Batman vs Superman.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah.
There were a few that were done in black and white, and it absolutely works.
So I was like super excited. This was gonna be a thing. And then I was reading about the Munsters, a show that like originally and black and white. They're like, no, you can't do that, Rob Zombie. No black and white movies.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up that they were like, no, we will not fund this if you do black and white.
Also, they wouldn't allow Grandpa to smoke his cigars.
Yeah, but I mean, that's actually a really good play. That would have been awful for the actor. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but for the listeners out there that are not aware, you are not allowed anymore to smoke tobacco in scenes. It's this weird mashup of dried herbs and shit, and it is just awful. So every movie you see that's made in the last 15 years or so, if they're smoking in it, that's not actually a cigarette or a cigar. It's this crazy, gross blend of dried shit.
Yeah. I mean, it'd be cool to have, like, because that's like an iconic thing, But they weren't allowed to do it, so they didn't, which is okay. It's not like it was like, fuck, where's Grandpa's cigar or anything. It was just like the little things that they goes, nope, you can't do that, was like things that were very Munsters.
Yeah. There was a review done the day the Munsters came out that just says, wow, oh wow, did the Munsters... Sorry. It just says, wow, oh wow, did the Munsters not deserve this? This is bad. And I don't know if they ever saw the show.
I don't think so either, which is usually my point when I kind of defend the movie. I'm not going to say it's like the greatest movie ever.
I don't think it's great. I can't say that because I didn't care for the dialogue in a lot of the movie.
Yeah, but most of the joke, every joke almost, even the bad ones.
Yeah, they fit.
Yeah, because, the old Munster show told a lot of bad jokes.
Yeah, I mean, Herman was notorious for that. And everybody was notorious for that. That was kind of the humor of the show, and
It was very punny.
the tone of the show was bad humor, and it just, I don't know, it worked. It didn't not work in this. That's not even the dialogue I'm talking about. That stuff
Oh no,
plays, you know. It's like,
I'm talking about when I defend it to
yeah,
people. They're like, well, that's not, well, I think everything basically fit. And if you would have watched the movie and then start watching the series, you can see how, like, okay, there's some time in between because Eddie is not around. But you could see where they could morph into the other. And that's kind of what you want with a prequel, right? You want it to go, oh, I could see this becoming that.
yeah. I mean, you definitely do want character progression and shit. You don't want it to just, I mean, it's like you said, it's a prequel. You can't just have them out the gate. Like, what kind of prequel do you want? Do you want like the first scene to be Herman walking down the street and running into Lily in the suburbs? Like, I don't know what you were expecting.
I mean, there'd be some changes to the love story that I would make personally because I felt it was not great. But I'll let you start with what you dislike because we kind of explained what we did like.
I mean, I've also said what I disliked. I
Just the dialogue.
Yeah, I didn't care for. All right, the movie is the original TV show was based in the 50s, made in the 60s. The movie also is based in the same time period, and I didn't care for the addition of the dialogue that is from like the last 20 years or the actions that are from the last 20 years. Like Richard Brake's character taking a selfie with a zombie that he just killed, or the way some of the characters talked like they were from the 2020s. Like the fucking vampire, or just Richard Brake himself. Other characters had just bits of dialogue thrown in there that were, I don't know, they didn't fit. Like some of it was from the 70s, some of it was from the 2000s. And I mean, I remember some of the things from the Munsters, like they had dialogue from the 60s because that's when it was made, even though the show was based, a decade prior.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it kind of fits the original scope
Yeah,
of the
that's what I
show.
was gonna say.
But I mean, if they would have stayed with the stuff from the 60s, 70s, I guess I could have gone with that. Like, I don't know, man. The stuff from the 20s, like the 2020s, taking selfies and talking like a fucking teen now, that stuff just, it rubbed me the wrong way. And I really didn't like that. Other
I
than
don't know.
that,
That
though,
didn't
of
bother me though.
course not. You're 12.
Yeah, I'm 12.
I've seen the
No,
documentation. It's written in
have you?
crayon.
Yeah, it is in crayon. That's the only thing I write in.
No, that was it though. I mean, once the movie progressed beyond the brain swap and just Richard Brake is such a great actor, and especially in a lot of the Rob Zombie stuff, so it was really weird to hate how embellished and flamboyant all of his delivery was.
It wasn't even all of it. It was just some of it, and it didn't make sense because one time he'd be super like stoic and like a little bit flamboyant, but not like super.
He would be
And
stoic and eccentric.
yeah, and it made sense. And then all of a sudden he'd be like, "Woo!" And I'm like,
Yeah, like
well,
this
that just came
dude
out of nowhere.
is fucking riding a roller coaster of emotions or something. I don't know, but yeah, I agree with that, and I think that's really it. Is just the stuff with him and the dialogue and some of the actions that are from 50, 60, 70 years into the future that they did. I didn't care for that stuff. Other than that though, like I want to say an hour 40 minutes to an hour into the movie when all of that stuff kind of fades out and Herman exists and things are more about Herman and the future grandpa and Lily and all of that stuff. I think the movie worked really well. I think it totally fit the tone of what the Munsters were and are. And I actually found myself enjoying the movie a lot more after the halfway point.
I thought the selfie thing was funny because it just seemed like something. Even the newer jokes, like stuff that is from a different time period, you could see them making in the Munsters. So like the selfie thing, I could see that being in the Munsters, and it just didn't bother me. I like that he's getting the parts. I didn't like the Abby normal wrong brain thing. because that's been done so many times. You could have done something different.
Yeah,
A
I
lot of
mean,
my films
it would have
were,
been, what would could have worked better for that is, I'm just throwing this out there. If he wasn't, I mean, it's like he goes in there and reads one name. I don't think he knew that there were twins.
yeah.
So whatever, but had it been specified that there were two of them and he needed to grab the appropriate one, but he then gets in there and doesn't know which one, so he goes into both and takes half of each brain. I think that, I don't know, that would have disappointed me less than just getting the wrong
Yeah,
one. Because that
yeah.
shit hasn't been done. Like, that doesn't get played out. There's nobody that's like, well, I'll just take two halves of the brain. Even though it's physically impossible. Once you sever the center of a brain, it ceases to function. But I mean, we're
Yeah.
resurrecting something from nothing at this point, anyways. So why not just go all in?
Hmm, I can see that. Plus the Richard breaks, like when he goes all out there. I think they should just kept him as like stoic. He could have done the selfie thing. I don't care, but have him still be like super stoic about it. And then like, because I really liked how he delivered the line, the getting the second smartest man,
Mm-hmm.
and the way he said it was like, because I am still using it.
Yeah.
Or
And I
why
mean,
can't
that
we get the
fits the
first?
character.
And it fits. And even though it's a little bit eccentric and the performance is a little bit, but if you kept his entire performance like that, I probably would have dug it more. I probably also would have changed a lot of stuff with the love story.
Yeah, there were.
Like,
I don't know about the love story itself. The
or like how they meet, or because I think her falling like in
Yeah,
love with him, watching him on TV was kind of stupid.
just
But like,
like as
you could have
soon as
had the
she
TV,
saw him on TV,
yeah.
that was
And
yeah,
I would have had it like they're watching on TV, she knows of the existence, and then the date that she went on with Nosferatu was at that place where Herman was performing, and then she saw Herman, then you could do the whole like love at first sight crap.
yeah. See, that would have. I think that would have fit better.
Yeah.
She's on a shitty date, sees him. I think he was trying to run that gag because obviously that dinner, like the whole climax to that was just
With his rats.
yeah, to get into the alley to see his place, and it's the nightclub and the techno music plays and shit, which I also found to just
Yeah, the techno music didn't make sense to me. I'll agree with you on that.
it was just I don't know. I get the gag that he was going for. I just don't think it fit.
But like structure wise, I feel like she should have saw him at the bar and not went looking for him. And that's the first time she saw him like in person. Or I mean it is, but like saw him, and then the flash, because they do the hearts and shit.
Yeah,
And that should have been when that happened, not when she was watching TV.
agreed.
And then she could get like to his dressing room and stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't think the scene with them singing Sonny and Cher at the bar was I don't know. I
Yeah.
get it, and I mean it was cutesy and quirky and fun.
Yeah. I think
I
that's the only reason for it.
I don't think it was. I don't want to say shot well. It might have been the editing or something. Something about it was just off to me. I think it was because they kept cutting from it and to it with other stuff. I don't know. Like it could have been a scene. The scene isn't bad, and it makes sense. It's quirky.
Yeah.
It's cute. It's whatever. There was just something about that portion of the movie that was off-putting to me.
Also, his need to put in scenes from every monster movie from Universal or Hammer, while I dig, because I dig all those movies, makes me question this entire universe. Like, are the monsters actors in it? Like, do they exist and they're playing the character of the monster in the monster movie? Or is the monster in the monster movie a human dressed up as a human and the monster just like watching?
Damn, you know what? That's fucking deep. That's a deep cut. I don't know. Maybe the monster actually does exist in Transylvania and they go out and play them. Or maybe the monsters just think they exist because they're from an area where monsters are real. So they think, like when Herman sees the guy in California
Yeah,
and he's like, well,
that's
if
why they want to go.
he's famous, then I'll be fine. Like maybe they're under the impression that the monsters on TV are real and they think that that's just everyday life everywhere. I don't know. I hadn't thought about that. That is
Because Uncle Gilbert would be in Creature from the Black Lagoon if it was like the monsters acting as monsters.
yeah. I mean that could play.
It could, But it wouldn't make sense for the monsters to really enjoy those movies since the monsters always die at the end.
Well, I
Wouldn't that be
mean,
kind of a
yes
wouldn't
and
that be
no,
kind of like
because
a
I mean it's just a job in acting, and I mean there's tons of people that watch movies where they are the type that would be killed immediately.
yeah, but they're watching it like go get him, like it's a
I mean, slutty girls don't hate Friday the 13th, and they die absolutely.
yeah, but slutty girls don't root for the other slutty girls after watching the movie already.
This is true.
They're like, we would die. That was one of my qualms because it makes me question the entire thing. Like these movies exist, but so do the monsters within the world. So are they just somehow are based off of monsters that they haven't seen? Do they travel and then they were seen and then copied, or do they go act? Like it's just makes me wonder.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that.
I mean, I know the truth. It just boils down to he wanted to show monster movies in his movie.
Yeah. Huh.
Oh, it just popped in my head since we're talking about movies within movies. We should have mentioned it in Halloween Kills. The remake of The Thing was what they were watching in the beginning, while in the original Halloween, it was Thing from Another World, which is the original version of John Carpenter's Thing. So they did both Thing callbacks.
Yeah.
All right,
And
back to the monster.
when you say the remake of The Thing, it was the 1980s remake of The Thing.
Yeah.
Not the
Oh yeah, forget.
They remade it again, so
yeah, I choose to ignore that one.
yeah.
I said John Carpenter's The Thing though. All right, back to the monsters. Yeah, he has a thing about having to show monster movies in his in most of his movies, and if it's not monster movies, it's the Marx Brothers.
Yeah.
But
He's notorious for that,
it.
but they make
Yeah.
sense a lot of the time, and I get where you're coming from on them doing it in this movie. I didn't even think about it like that.
Yeah, it was just
Depending on the reasoning behind it, it could fit and work, but it's also like, I don't know, it's one of those things where you're just curious, like, what are you going for? What are you doing with, what does it all mean?
what does it mean? What does it mean?
What does it mean, Basil? Oh, and then in the end, Herman, Lily, they end up getting married, and
they end up finding. Oh wait, yeah, that's on their honeymoon. Never mind.
yeah,
They get married. There's this whole like subplot about the brother Lester.
yeah.
Uh,
Lily's brother Lester wants to. Well, he doesn't necessarily want to as much as he's being forced to obtain the deed to the family household because Grandpa's ex-wife wants it
for revenge purposes.
as a revenge plot against Grandpa.
Yeah, because she's a bitch and he's a dick. So they.
Yeah, and Lester just keeps popping in all drunken werewolf like.
Yeah.
And then Herman and Lily, they get married, and Lester's like, "We're brothers now, baby. We're family.
Yeah, sign here.
We gotta do business together."
I mean, Herman's stupid, so he does it.
Yeah, he just signs the paper.
Yeah.
He's just promised that he's gonna get rich.
And a fucking big crayon.
Yeah, that signature was fantastic.
But
the funny part to me is
no conflict. There's absolutely no conflict because like I really hope you didn't do that, Herman, because I don't want to think that I wasted my life away. Then you find out he did do it, and she's like, "Okay, well, let's figure this out."
Yeah,
and it's just like
Herman couldn't sign that house away.
No, maybe Transylvania has different rules.
I mean, well, it's not true. He could because there was no original signature on the deed.
Which makes no sense.
That doesn't, because once you obtain a property, you would have to sign for it.
Maybe Grandpa just didn't think about it. We're going to keep calling him Grandpa, and he's not Grandpa.
Well, he will be. He just doesn't know it yet.
And of course, they show how much Grandpa doesn't like Herman.
Or anybody, except Lily.
Yeah, which in the show, the only people Grandpa likes is Eddie and Lily.
Yep.
One of my favorite parts is when they find Spike. No, Spot. Sorry, wrong one.
I did like that. That was cute. They're on their honeymoon and they're in Paris. And they go to the little courtyard restaurant and everybody freaks out and runs away. And they decide to go down into the sewers because there's talk of a monster in the sewers, and Herman goes down there and wrestles this little dragon guy. And then they keep him, and it shows them on their honeymoon in a hotel, and they've got him in the tub.
Yeah, and that Spot, you'll recognize Spot's tail.
Fucking adorable.
Yeah, I really like that they find Spot, and then that's when Grandpa comes in going, which they're so funny, like the gag where he opens the door and he just takes the stuff, and Grandpa's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and then he opens the door and hands him the coin and then shuts the door on him again, and Grandpa walks back in and Herman does a double take.
Yeah.
See, and those are the things I'm talking about actually that they do in the movie that actually work and fit the style of the Munsters.
Mm.
And that's not the only one. There's a lot of them. It's just
most of it does, though, I think.
Yeah.
Even the newer like references, they're done in a way where I could see the Munsters doing it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say it's just a lot more few and far between in the beginning of the movie. And that's why it took me like 40 minutes of the movie to actually get into it and enjoy it and feel like I was watching the Munsters.
And then finds out that he signs the deed to the house, and then they go, well, not getting mad. They're just like, or Grandpa's mad, but Lily's like, after telling him that she really hopes he didn't, because that means she wasted her life for a dumbass. And she's just like, okay, let's figure it out. And Herman's like, let's go to California.
Yeah. He's just like, oh, this guy's on TV. Look at him. If he can make it, I'll be fine.
And then she's like, okay. And then Grandpa's like, what about me?
Yeah, you can come too.
I like the butler guy, Sylvester McCoy.
Yeah.
Turn him into a bat.
He just wears him on his hat.
Yeah, but is that the bat from the show? Because they never change him back.
Yes, it is.
It's fucking great.
Which, yeah, I thought that was hilarious. Like, as soon as he became the bat, I was like, oh shit, I get it.
Yeah.
And it made me think, okay, so that is like 15 years at least from this happening. And I was like, Grandpa just never turned him back? Oh, wait, he actually says something about it, I think. I think he says something about turning him back, and then he says,
I think he likes being a bat.
Yeah, he says he rather enjoys it or some shit. And
yeah.
But yes, yeah, that is the bat from the show. Although I thought it was weird that I don't remember the bat ever talking in the show.
I don't think it does, but maybe he just stopped talking.
Yeah, maybe he forgot how to after being a bat for 15 years.
Maybe just chilling being a bat. They know he could talk. Maybe they talk in private.
Yeah, who knows what happens off scene. I also, I really enjoyed before they go to California and after they get to California, they have to find a house, and they talk to a real estate agent who is played by Cassandra Peterson.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody that watches horror or anything should, well, I shouldn't say, definitely not now, but anybody from my generation would definitely know Cassandra Peterson as Elvira.
Oh, you spoiled it. I wanted to see how many people would guess in the comments.
Oh, damn, that would have been a good one. I could edit it out.
Nah, keep it.
Cut that.
Yeah, it was cool seeing her. It was cool seeing Butch Patrick. It was cool seeing Marilyn.
Yeah, they have they had a lot of cameos.
Yeah.
And I thought that was great.
So other than like the Spot thing, I really like when they move and the real estate agents thinking she's trying to sell them one house, but they see, of course, the spooky looking house that's all run down, and that's the one they want. And she's like, take it.
Yeah. I don't want one grave removed.
Yeah. And that night is a Halloween party, and their interaction with the town is just like awesome because they think they're all like monsters and shit, and he gets a job at the funeral home.
Yeah. They feel like they're at home because everybody there is similar and like they never left Transylvania.
Yeah, and then he gets up in the morning getting ready for work, and no one's wearing costumes anymore, and he flips out.
What are these monsters?
That was hilarious. And Lily sits them both down and goes, we're going to be nice to these people. And that was the entire thing of the show. Like, it was, we're going to be nice to them. It's not their fault that they're ugly.
Yeah, it is.
It's like,
pretty great.
Oh.
All in
And then they
all,
reenact the opening,
yeah.
which they did do a good job with that. All in all, I thought it was a good movie. I wanted to ask how you felt about the cast.
I actually I enjoyed every single person at one point or another. I did have a problem with Sherry, just in some parts. I had a problem with Richard Brake in some parts, and I had a problem with Sherry Moon Zombie in some parts. I felt like at some
Mhm.
parts Sherry Moon is really embodying Lily and doing a great job, and in others I thought like I felt it was more her as Baby in House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, and Three from Hell playing Lily, and
Yeah.
it was weird to me to see that part of her come out in that character. When I mean she did Lords of Salem and none of that came through in Lords of Salem. She did some other stuff with fuck, I can't remember. But what I'm trying to say is Sherry Moon Zombie can act without being bubbly
Baby.
and baby. And I felt like in some of this stuff, it just 31. Like she's not baby in 31,
No, she's not.
and she's not baby in Lords of Salem, and it just I don't know. She also did the Toolbox Murders and Grindhouse Werewolf Women of the SS.
The trailer?
It's a short film.
It's a trailer.
No, they made a
It's a
short
fake
film.
trailer. Did they actually make a short film?
Yeah,
Those trailers were the best part of the. Well, I mean,
they
those
were
movies
so
were
good.
too, but the
You know what my favorite part of that was? Speaking of those trailers, my favorite part of them was that everybody loved Machete so much that they had to make an actual movie because of it.
yeah. Then they made a sequel.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Didn't he go to space too?
Oh my God, yes. But yeah, other than that, I loved the cast. I thought they did great.
The guy
Jeff-
who played Herman and Grandpa, they fucking nailed it. I think.
Jeffrey Dean Phillips killed it as Herman. Like it was crazy how good he did in that role. I was actually really surprised. Jeff Daniel Phillips. I said
Yeah.
Jeffrey Dean Phillips.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I got one name wrong out of 3, so whatever.
I think I auto corrected it in my head.
I did too until I realized that I said it wrong.
Yeah, I think they nailed it. Grandpa and Herman are like almost perfect.
Yeah, Daniel Roebuck did a
And,
great job as Grandpa,
Very good.
which was really surprising to me because when he got cast as it, I didn't see it, and then I saw the first makeup test, and I was like, okay.
Sylvester McCoy played a good. What was his name?
In the movie, the
Bat. Yeah.
oh my God, I don't remember. Igor. It's Igor
Yeah, okay. Igor.
because he's he's the servant. The servant's always Igor, except for
Not Richard Brake servant.
Floop.
Soup. And I thought Floop was a good character. If Richard Brake was a little bit subtler, I think it would have worked better. That's probably the only reason one wouldn't put him down as like the great cast. But all in all, Herman and Grandpa, I don't think they did any wrong.
No, I think they did great jobs. I think I think everybody, including the cameos that they had Dee Wallace doing a cameo. She was one of the TV announcers. Butch Patrick played the Tin Can Man. Pat Priest was another one. She did
That's just Marilyn.
there's another one too, but I can't remember. There were a few. There was a lot.
All right, so where would you want this to go? Would you want a sequel that bridges the two, like the child stuff, like to the show? Or do you think starting a new series from there, like just having Rob Zombie make a series, like television series
I wouldn't
of his version of the Munsters? What do you think would work better?
I wouldn't hate them doing a series, but only if they could keep the same cast. But I would.
Oh, yeah. Nothing would change other than it'll be a series.
Yeah, I would.
Not like a movie.
I would prefer just one more, just to bridge the two and then be done. Like how they end up thriving in California and have the kids, and then that could be it. Just bridge the courtship and the meeting and them moving, and then the show that we know and love.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be happy with that. I mean, I'd be happy if he doesn't do anything with it again, but I would like to see a sequel. I don't think he'll do
Yeah,
it. I don't think
probably not.
I don't think he intended to.
Oh no, I just wanted to hear your thoughts on where you think you would want it to go if you were going like, hey, you should either make a series, like a new Munster series that could be on TV, or just another movie that bridges to the old series. Because I'd be okay with either of those.
Yeah, agreed. I think he did well enough in my book, making everything fit the tone and theme of what the Munsters are, that I would absolutely give him a shot at making a series. And I definitely would be okay with him making a sequel movie that just bridges the two timelines.
You know, and if you guys absolutely hate it because it's a family friendly Rob Zombie movie based off of a show in the 60s and it's not adult for you, watch Mockingbird Lane that was made by Brian Fuller,
Mm-hmm.
Jerry O'Connell, Jerry O'Connell as Herman. That's more adult. I think most of the shows like Eddie's going on a fucking rampage, you know?
I do not
I
not
don't
remember
remember.
much of Mockingbird Lane, but I do know that well, it is both more adult and
There's blood.
yeah, it's I don't know, man. I think everybody in this movie did a better job.
You know, it's just saying if you want an adult Munsters, which I guess fucking everyone wanted, I wanted Munsters. So I was perfectly okay with this movie. But if you want an adult one, you could watch. I mean, it didn't last because, you know, most doesn't last very long, which makes absolutely no sense.
Yeah, I think
But if that's what you're kind of wanting, check out that. And I don't know, stop. Like most of their problems is they wanted it to be a Rob Zombie movie and not a Munsters movie. Because if you're a super big fan of the Munsters, and a lot of people are saying they are, but then they're like, "Why was this? Why is it like this?" Because it's like the fucking Munsters. I thought you were a fan.
yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. Yeah, I don't know how else to word it. Like if you can't appreciate how similar this is to the show in terms of just like
Vibe.
the spirit of it, the narrative, the tone, you know, like in spirit, in essence, this shit is what the Munsters were. So if you
Mhm.
don't like it, then I don't know, you didn't like the Munsters and you shouldn't have watched it.
I mean, Fred Gwynn was hilarious.
I mean, I get that there are some parts of it that aren't, I don't know, that aren't great and don't really work. I will absolutely agree with that, you know,
Mm-hmm.
assessment or statement. I feel the same way, but at the same time, it took me fucking 20 or 30 minutes of the movie to get past that and see it for what it is and appreciate it for how close it is to the show.
And you know, I've seen almost everything Munsters. I've seen the Go Home movie, which was good. So this isn't the first Munster movie. Plus, they made another movie, and it didn't have the same Herman. I mean, it definitely wasn't that great anyway.
They made a
But
TV
to go
movie in the
this,
90s also.
yeah, and but to go like this is the worst thing that come to the Munsters. No, I think they've already done the worst thing that could come to the Munsters, and
Yeah.
that was probably before you were born.
And you know what? If anybody hates on Jeff Daniel Phillips' portrayal of Herman, they can just fuck off.
Yeah, they could suck a dick.
Yeah. I mean, he absolutely nailed that role.
We just talked about the Munsters.
Yeah, we did. We
Yeah,
did it. We
I
did
mean,
it.
I dug it. It wasn't like the best. It wasn't terrible.
No, I mean, it had
But
a.
as a Munsters movie, it was good. It had good acting,
Mhm.
and you know, if you're gonna hate it for they don't swear or kill each other. I don't know where you could have got that was gonna happen other than just seeing Rob Zombie's name and expecting it.
Yeah, you probably should have just looked up anything when it was announced that he was doing it, because on his Instagram, right after it was announced, I remember checking his Instagram because that's where he put up the first announcement, and people were in the comments section asking, you know, what his plans were for the property and if he was going to make a quote unquote Rob Zombie Munsters movie, or, you know, if he was going to stay true to the feeling of the Munsters. And he came right out before anything was ever shot and said that he absolutely loved the Munsters growing up. It's very like dear to his heart, and he was going to honor it and make the movie in the same vein as the show was. So
you could definitely tell a lot of love went into it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a passion project for him, and that's wonderful. I'm happy with the way he went about it.
And he's been wanting to make other movies than what you expect him to make for like ever, and no one will give him the funding to do it.
Yeah, I mean, Rob Zombie's fought with that the whole time he's been making movies. If it wasn't for him, getting outside financing and being able to finance his movies himself and shit, like he wouldn't have ever been able to do anything. And this one, the hardship of that is that the property is owned by Universal. He doesn't have the option to, like if he wanted to make it in black and white, he couldn't have told him to shove it. Universal has final say in that because they own the property. If they're not going to produce it, he can't produce it.
Yeah. Well, I'm just talking about he's wanted to make other types of movies outside of the Firefly trilogy and Lord of Salem, like things named after his songs.
Yeah.
Like he's been wanting to he wanted to make a movie about like Groucho Marx. Like at the later end of his life, he wanted to make a hockey movie. Fuck, every director's wanted to make a hockey movie, it seems.
Yeah. That Sean Cunningham prick.
Well, Kevin Smith also wanted to make a fucking
I was kidding. Sean Cunningham was Friday the 13th.
And he probably wanted to make a hockey movie too.
That's why he got all butthurt about them giving Jason a hockey mask and was like, "No, fuck you guys." Lawsuit.
Nah, fuck that mess. It's gonna mess up my hockey movie.
No.
But he wanted to make a hockey movie, and Kevin Smith wanted to make a hockey movie, and I think a lot of directors I've seen talk, like for interviews, like really long form interviews, when they're like, what kind of movies would you want to make? Most of them have a hockey movie in their plan that they didn't get the funding for.
It's not surprising. I mean, hockey movies don't go far. If you've ever seen Goon, it's probably one of the best hockey movies I've ever seen.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I think they want to base it. They always want to base it on the life of one of the big ones like Wayne Gretzky or whatever, and they'll write a script, and
Goon is based
no one will want
on one of the first hockey enforcers, like one of the first guys that goes out there just specifically to take punches and throw them. That's what Goon is based on, and it's a fantastic movie. The character is played by Sean William Scott, and
I saw that.
It's such a great movie. It's hilarious and it's heartfelt and it's really good. There's a sequel to it that's equally good. It's just, I don't know. There aren't many sports movies that I give a shit about.
Yeah, me neither. It's just funny to me that they all
when asked, they're all like, I want to do hockey. Oh yeah, are there angels in the net? Did Daddy leave his 15-year-old kid so he could go ride his motorcycle?
Yeah, like a lot of the reason why they didn't get to make their hockey movie was because it didn't fit with the movies that they have already made. They're like, why would we let you make a sports movie about hockey when your movies are about people that stand around in a gas station?
Yeah.
He's like, well, I want to make a hockey movie.
Kevin Smith is so much more than that, though. He is.
I'm talking about like in a meeting, though.
I get it.
And then Rob Zombie is like, I want to make a hockey movie, and they're like, well, but you're the guy that makes the.
But you're Living Dead girl. You're Dracula.
Yeah.
You're White Zombie. Oh shit! Get this right. So I'm painting my room in a little while. Not exactly sure when, but it's on the docket. I have to acquire my materials to build my new desk and get that done, and I want to have that ready for when I paint my room. I also need my new monitors before I do that because my TV is going somewhere else in my room. And I was originally looking for this specific color of gray that's just called Midnight, and I can't find it anywhere. And to order it online, it costs like $96 or some shit for a gallon of it. And I was like, well, that's insane. I'm going to have white accent walls in my room that I already planned out. I was going to do that with this shade of gray. So three sections of wall are going to be white. And then the rest were going to be this midnight color that is a gray tone. well, the midnight thing fell off. I'm not going to do midnight anymore. And I was at the store looking at paint samples, and there's a gray color that's really close to it called soot. And I mean, it's so fucking close, it would have been perfect. But then there's another one that's really similar, and it's called zombie. And I'm going to use what are you doing? And I'm going to use that color. And it didn't hit me until the other day that I'm painting my room white and zombie. And I was like, oh shit, white zombie.
Yeah. That's actually a cool, like, that's awesome. I wish I could paint my room white zombie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you would be basing it off of Rob Zombie, and I'd be like, Bela Lugosi.
No, I was actually basing it on nothing but the color tones, because the specific shade of gray plays well with RGB lights. The colors appear really well on certain gray tones. And
no,
so,
I meant the reason why you got a kick out of the name. I would got a kick out of it because Bela Lugosi.
Of course, I got a kick out of it because of Rob Zombie. He came first.
Before Bela Lugosi?
It was a joke. White Zombie's from like 1972. Rob Zombie's White Zombie started in what, like 91?
Did you fucking say 72?
Yes.
Are you sure?
What? Did I misspoke and said 70 instead of 30? I'm absolutely 100%.
Yes, you said 70.
85.
32.
Yeah, he made it after he was dead. What do you want me to say? In his triumphant return from the grave, Bela Lugosi puts out Under Kiss 65.
The star of Plan 9 from outer space comes back from the dead and White Zombie.
Yeah.
Or should we use Bride of the Monster as his? Because that was his. Yeah, let's do Bride of the Monster. Let's change it. The star of Bride of the Monster comes back from the dead to star and White Zombie.
He might have died 16 years ago, but he's back.
He's back, baby.
All right, folks, that's our conversation about the Munsters, Rob Zombie, and, you know, Bela Lugosi.
Bela Lugosi.
Fantastic
Come
character
back
actor, by the
later.
way, from the, you know, early black and white film days. If you've never seen any of his work, you've never seen great movies. So
Of 1970s.
yeah, of the 1970s, well into his death, he was still making black and white films.
I mean, he was.
As always, if you found this video stupid, please like it. And if you hate the way we talk about things, please subscribe to the channel. If you absolutely loathe us and wish we would shut up, please leave a comment below telling us how much we suck. All right, y'all. I hope you have a spooky fucking evening. And don't go into the woods for any fornicating or drug doing, because that is definitely where you get picked up by aliens who play with your booty hole. Youch, y'all.